All right, guys, Agent Matthew Longshore, Longshore, one of the public information officers for the Aurora Police Department. Thanks for coming today. We wanted to give you guys an update on the I-70 homicide that happened this weekend on Saturday night that tragically took the life of one of our community members. I first want to offer our deepest condolences from the Aurora Police Department to the family of Mr. John Jaros, specifically his wife Karen and their 3 young kids, the community in which he served, and the fire department for which he volunteered his time. We offer our deepest condolences. Before we get started, Miss Katie Jaros, the wife of Mr. John, sent us a statement that she wishes us to read, and so we're going to do that first thing. I would like to say thank you to the law enforcement agencies that worked diligently to apprehend the person responsible for my husband's murder. I don't think I'll ever be able to fully express my gratitude. I have been so overwhelmed with all of the support that is pouring out from the local communities surrounding us. We have an amazing community that we are part of, and I am so grateful for everything everyone is doing for us. I'd like to ask for the continued respect of our privacy as I try to navigate through the changes in our lives. As I walk through this grieving process with my children, please be praying for us that God would give us the peace and over time, hearts of forgiveness. I know God is faithful and we trust His plan for our lives. I would also like to ask for prayers for the young man who took my husband's life, and that he would one day have the opportunity to experience God's love, mercy, and forgiveness. Thank you. Here with me today, I have Lieutenant Bob Wesner, who's the commanding officer over the Major Crimes Homicide Unit, and also Commander McGregor, who's the commander over our Major Crimes Unit. And I will let them start with the updates.
Good afternoon. I am Commander McGregor. This is one of the most difficult cases that in my 30-plus years that we've had to work. And I will tell you that it impacted all of our investigators to the point where they were working very hard to solve this crime and to solve it quickly, especially since the event happened on the eve of Father's Day. So to give you a little bit about what happened, this was a street racing event. It does not appear that it was a planned event. It appears more that it was an ad hoc event that was put together. There were a handful of cars that stopped the eastbound flow of traffic on I-70 between Tower and 470. It was at this time that our victim and his family, because of the traffic was stopped, went around the stopped traffic, at which time several rounds were fired at his vehicle, which the vehicle contained 3 children, and his wife was the passenger. He was struck by one of those rounds and was pronounced deceased at the scene. Our suspect is Jeremy Roca. He's 20 years of age. At this point, it does not appear that he has any criminal history, but we're continuing to do the workup on that. The victim's wife, Katie, had the strength to lean over, put the vehicle into neutral, and guide the truck to the shoulder where it came to rest, where at that point then the police were called and our responding officers responded to the scene. The strength that she demonstrated that particular day with everything that had happened inside that truck is admirable. I mean, she just really did a good job and prevented that vehicle from possibly going off the side of the road and rolling over. All known witnesses have been contacted and have come forward at this time, but we are urging if there's anybody else out there that has information that has not spoken to the Aurora Police Department to please reach out to us. The lead investigator is Eric White, and his phone number is 303-739-6113. At this time, I would like to thank the community. The community really stepped up, and the tips came in, and the community really embraced this event and came forward with some good information. I would also like to thank our MCU investigators. They worked this case with a lot of tenacity and dedication. They have worked many, many hours over the last handful of days, and they're very tired, but they were committed to doing this and solving this crime. Other partners that helped us along the way is Commerce City PD, Brighton PD, the Adams County Sheriff's Office, CDOT was helping with closing down the highway, Colorado State Patrol, and the 17th Judicial District. At this time, I do want to emphasize that this was a street racing event. It's not street racing is not recreational fun. It's staggering, dangerous behavior, and if the community can help us continue to deal with these issues and get information out to the police department, maybe these types of tragedies can be avoided in the future. Are there any questions?
I have three. First of all, why is he your suspect?
I'll let
Sure.
Lieutenant Wesner talk a little bit
So I'm
about it.
Lieutenant Bob Westner with the Major Crimes Homicide Unit for Aurora Police Department. I have a unit of approximately 15 detectives and investigators. In this particular case, it was very difficult to find leads and to find witnesses. So thankful for our community to come forward with information that actually helped us put things together to get to the point where we are right now in the investigation. And by no means is this investigation over. We're just in the preliminary stage of it. It has not been presented formally to the District Attorney's Office in the 17th Judicial District. However, we have gotten to the point where we did make an arrest early this morning, approximately 3 o'clock. My unit, along with, again, Commerce City Police Department, Adams County, and our other partners, responded to an address in Commerce City where Mr. Roca lives with his family, and we were able to, at that time, make an arrest and execute some search warrants that gathered us some more information and evidence. We continue to do that throughout the entire investigation since the day that this happened. It was just within the last 48 hours that things started to come together, again, due to that input from our community. So we thank everyone for doing that through Denver Metro Crime Stoppers and through just folks coming forward to talk about that incident, what they saw. We don't believe by no means that we have all the information. We do know there's more information, possibly video, cell phone information out there, and we welcome that. So please get that back to us as best you can. So it was through a lot of interviews, particularly late last night and into the early morning hours, that got us to where we are today. So we felt obligated to come forward and get that information to the community. There is no threat to the community other than what we have already, meaning that this incident we feel is contained with that particular event.
Initially, you had said you didn't know if Jaros was targeted. Based on that description, was Roca shooting specifically at him in his car?
I won't get into the details about who was shooting at who, but there was no vehicle contact with Mr. Jaros's vehicle at the time, nor before or after the event. So it doesn't seem to be like an accident type thing. We continue to investigate to look at anything else that might point us in that direction, but I'm not going to get into details of where shots were fired and at whom. I think that's better left for the judicial process.
Do you believe anyone else fired a gun?
No.
Originally, there had been the white and the black sedan that were being reported as police looking for information on those. Was it really just those two cars involved in stopping traffic that day on 70, or were there more cars believed to have been involved?
There were 4 particular cars that were racing in that particular area, and then there were several cars that were behind them as they were doing that racing.
That were involved?
Would those guys be accomplices to murder?
Not at this time. We'll see where the investigation takes us. Yes.
Do we have any leads on the other car that was initially identified, the white one?
All the vehicles involved in this incident we are aware of, and the drivers have been contacting or cooperating.
Would there be any charges that other street racers would face that are not Roca related to this event?
Not in this event, no.
Does that have anything to do with their cooperation?
It has to do with a lot of different various things, but right now in the investigation, we do not foresee charging anyone else in this event.
I know that you guys have been cracking down on street racing recently, specifically the last 6 weeks. We know that it's dangerous
I don't have specifics, you know, as far as what guns have been recovered as far as the street racers go, but yes, we have been very proactive in trying to deal with the street racer issues. And again, you know, trying to include the community as far as getting the information out to us, but we would just want to really emphasize that this is not recreational fun. I mean, they're shutting down highways, they're conducting dangerous behavior. So, you know, we will continue to try to put forth the best efforts to deal with street racing, but again, it's a community effort. We really do need assistance in that process.
Mr. Jaros wasn't involved in the street racing, right?
Correct.
So if people come across something like this while they're driving down I-70 on a Sunday night, what do you recommend they do?
I would recommend that they contact their local police department and at least get as much information out to the police department as they can.
But in the actual moment, is it best to sit tight in traffic while the traffic's jammed up, or like?
I would recommend, yes, to sit tight and call 911.
You said there were, or one of you said there were search warrants executed early this morning at Roca's home. Was there a weapon found?
Again, we're not going to get into the details about those parts of the investigation at this time. Thanks. What else?
One
Anything
more
else?
question? Okay. We certainly appreciate everybody coming out today. If there's any updates to this case, we'll certainly publish it to our news release in the same string of events.
So you have no video of the shooting? Do you have any video of the shooting?
We have a lot of video. We have a lot of other different things surrounding the event before, during, and after. We're just not going to get into details about what those have at this time.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.